Yo, you know what it is, man. We are back another week, man. Notes from the NEGRO section. We're a little short today, but we got mostly everybody. We're a couple short, but we still gonna keep it moving. Of course, it's your boy, man, Q Lewis. I got my man HQ in the building. I got my man Dubb in the building. I got my man Bo in the building, dog. We getting ready to get down to the nitty gritty of some stuff, right? Now, we talked about a whole lot of stuff on the last couple of weeks, or the last 3 weeks, actually. But now we're getting ready to get into something very serious, all right? We're going to talk about reparations, all right? We're going to get down to the point of what we would actually want for reparations and what that type of thing might entail, all right? So we'll go around the table, of course, and see what everybody says. And then, like I always do, at the end, I got a little question to flip it around a little bit and switch it up, all right? So that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about reparations, man. What is this case for reparations? Is it something that we deserve? And if that's the case, what should that be? So, HQ, I'm going to start with you first, bro. What's your take on that, man? Reparations, dog, what do you think that should be?
Reparations, obviously, in this era, they got to find ways that can value what we've been owed. Like the main thing I want to think is like most people would say, like, what do you like? Most people will say, give me monetary gain, like money. Like, but then people don't realize, like, money is slowly losing its value. Like, you literally have more credit on mine than you do with a cat walking in the store with $10 in your pocket. Like, cryptocurrency is flowing back and forth. Like, do I want representation through monetary gain, or do I want some, long term? Which is something that I don't know. I don't even know how they would do it, because they've given land to other nationalities, other ethnicities, like Indians, and they still go over there and take over their shit. Like, you gave the South that Indian reservation where they were in the pipeline through. Like, they gave them that land, and then here we are 20 years later saying, no, we got to use your land to run a pipe through that might bust and leak oil into y'all water. Well, no, we don't do it, but it's our land. Y'all gave it to us. We saying no. Well, no, we still want to build through it. So I would love to see it done, but I can't fathom how they could do it at this stage in the game. It's like literally because they're gonna find some way to make it monotone where you can't get it like it's like almost like when Indians going to college, get a career education. You gotta be 1/8 Indian. Yeah. Like, that's over 100-year rule. Like, how many 1/8 Indians really alive? Like, they gonna probably make it like you gotta be 1/4 African. Like, do you know how much I'm down the food chain on that through genetics? Like, come on, man. Exactly. So I would love to see it, and it's deserving. But my main thing is how could they do it? Because it's supposed to have been done like every other culture that has been wronged by America, or wronged by the countries that they lived in. Reparations has been handed out, and also the signs of those torments or those tormenting factors have been removed from history. Like, they'll talk about it in history books, but you ain't going out seeing a statue of, Robert E. Lee or, Thomas Jefferson sitting outside your window, your town hall window. So I just don't know how they do statues of Hitler. Because, you got your 1%ers. Like, you telling me I got to give up my mansion and my 7-car garage so I can be a 4-car garage now? I don't know how they could do it. I would love to get it. I would say I would want something in land that's going to always grow with equity, with value. But how do they do it when every bit of land is almost owned here in the U.S.? You literally you ought to start giving that shit in space. Like, okay, we're going to give y'all niggas the moon. Y'all niggas didn't have the moon. That's basically that's all that's left in America. That's all that's left on this world. Like, there's nothing left else to give. Like, what was that story of the one guy? Some guy, he wanted his daughter to be a princess, so he cashed out his 401k and bought his daughter a 6,000 acre plot of land in Africa and made her the princess of that land in Africa. Like, y'all taking everything. Like, what's left? You gonna give us something that can't produce crops probably, soil. They're gonna give us Chernobyl. Hey, we'll give y'all Chernobyl. Like, nigga, it can't be no life growing there for another 280 years. So what am I gonna do? Well, it's yours.
Right, build for the generation in 280 years.
Yeah, right. I would love to see it happen, but I just don't know if there's anything left to give to us besides small monetary gains, free education. But then it'll probably be, it's going to be halty because you're going to have people didn't like affirmative action, but affirmative action helped more women than it did black people. Like people help minorities. I think people, as soon as they think of affirmative action, they think of black people. Like, no, it helped more women in the opportunities more than it did us. But it's like, you get free education, they gonna hold that up. They gonna have some hate up on that. You using, your reparation education coupon. You can't use that. Well, I wanted to get reparation education. So, I only got a 2-way. I got my reparation coupon, and I'm going to Harvard, nigga. So what up? That's my point.
I definitely feel you on that, man, and I feel your hesitancy. But at the same time, I feel like even with that hesitancy, and even knowing that, obviously they're gonna probably put some kind of stipulations on it to try to burn you in the end. But I still say give it to them. Shit, I still want the free education, even if it come with the reparation coupon. You know what I'm saying? I still want it. I still want the link, even if I have to move 1,000 acres away from civilization. I still want it. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's our gift and our curse as black people. That's my shit. I want it, nigga.
I mean, really? That's what.
I'm not arguing with that. That's what our fathers taught us. Our grandfathers taught us. Our great grandfathers. Nigga, that's mine. Leave it alone.
Right. Yo, Bo, man, what you got to say about this, bro?
Man, so reparations, right? Like we were talking about a little earlier. Like, I would like to have something other than just like straight cash. Like you said, though, Q Lewis, and they giving it out. I'm taking it, and I'm gonna use it.
I want it, right?
Yeah, I want it. I'm gonna use it to do something else with. But honestly, I don't think it's ever going to happen. But if it were to happen, I don't think it would be on an individual basis. I think it'd be on like some all community improvement type shit. We put this much money into your after school programs, or we're gonna do this for the community, or some type of education type tip or something like that. I don't think it would ever be on an individual type basis. Like, hey, here's your share, here's your plot of land, here's your check, here's whatever. I think it's gonna be. Let me take that back. I don't think it's going to happen. But if it were, it would be something like that, I think. Something community-based, geographically based or something like that. Drug rehabilitation programs. So, mental health, something like that. Which, quiet as a cap, is something that, like, we really need, to tell you the truth.
I was going to say, all that's necessary.
Yeah, and like HQ was saying, our father, our grandfather, great grandfather taught us, hey, that's mine, leave it alone. And but yeah, it's
right.
We earned it, deserved it. Again, the only group in America that really hasn't been, I don't want to say made whole because they're not going to make it. That's not going to happen. But nothing has been given, or I don't want to say given either, because like our ancestors, they deserve that shit. Like they built this country,
right? Exactly.
So like on the backs of like slaves and things like that, and I guess what really ticks me off about the situation is the United States, again, is the most powerful country in the world. For them to say, hey, it's not in the budget, or we don't have money, or blah, 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 that's total bullshit, because whatever the United States wants to happen in this world, it happens. I don't care what it is, dude. Like, them cats is like the ultimate, like, go-to guy. Like, they make shit happen, man, like, for real. Like, like George W. Bush, that dude was like, okay, I don't have the blessing of Congress and all that good stuff. I'm going to war anyway, nigga. You know what I mean? It's like, exactly. I'm gonna make this shit happen. You know? Like we talking about Gaddafi. Oh, you want to make a Bank of Africa and stuff like that? All right, no, we don't want that to happen. Oh, you want to listen to reason? Okay. You know, so again, man, I just think that in the most powerful, you know, we kind of touched on this last week, but the most powerful country in the world, if you really have an issue, if you really want to fix it, it can be fixed. You know, it can be made fixed, right. Yeah, it's just people don't want to do that. You know, your average, you know, as Trump was saying yesterday, you know, NASCAR is a patriotic sport. Never mind all the hundreds and thousands of Confederate flags and all that bullshit you see and whatnot. You know what I mean? But because it's a picture of what is a good American or not, you know, they patriotic, a so-called good American, I guess you could say. You know, I don't know, man. It's just, I would like it to happen. I think if it does happen, it'd be some type of community-based effort. But I mean, honestly, being true, being real, that shit ain't gonna happen, bro.
That shit ain't gonna happen. But you say if it does, though, you don't see it being on an individual basis, though.
No, I don't see it really being on an individual basis, man. Because I mean, again, it's like I hate to make jokes about this shit, but like going back to barbershop, like my man said, reparations ain't gonna do nothing but make Cadillac number one dealership in the country and whatnot. You know, niggas, like it's gonna be out there flossing and stunting and like, hey, I got this Gucci belt. You know, some of us gonna do it right. You know what I mean? But some of us gonna be like, okay, now, bro, really. You know,
and I think I want to say, like, I really want to, and this could just be me holding on the face, but I want to think that it'll be enough of us that'll do the right thing to, you know, to make it effective. At least I want to believe that. But I kind of agree with you on that too, though, that on an individual basis, it probably wouldn't happen, even though they did manage to do it with the, you know, the stimulus checks and shit. If y'all remember that back in the day, all the taxpayers, you know what I'm saying, got a stimulus package, a stimulus check or whatever. This could be pretty much the same if you a law-abiding citizen who don't.
I didn't get one. Child support too fine.
Well, see that's your problem.
Child support.
That's all right.
Hey, real quick though. So this guy HQ, boy. Hey, so I got an issue with the law-abiding part too, right? So here's my issue with that. Like, I don't want to take nothing away from self-responsibility and all that, but you know, a lot of these people, man, in some of these neighborhoods, and some of these situations, I mean, you got to eat, right? You got to take care of what you got to take care of. You got to eat. You know, like, we can talk about education and stuff like that, and stuff that's down the line, but them cats is worried about right now. You know, when you don't know when your next meal coming from, you're going to do whatever you need to do to eat, right?
To get it, right. For sure, no, I feel you. Yeah. And I think those are the problems that you run into if you're trying to do it individually. Because, it's going to be, if you do it one way, like you do it like the stimulus checks was, then a lot of people are going to get left out. Because a lot of people ain't never filed taxes, like they probably owe taxes or ain't never really did nothing legal. So it's going to leave a lot of people out, even though they, you know, they possibly deserve some type of, you know, reparation. So when you look at it like that, it makes it tougher to break it down individually. But I don't know. This really is a tough situation. I mean, obviously, it's too tough for the government to figure out, or they just don't care as much. But I mean, at this point, even without actual reparations, like monetary, you know, money or whatever, I mean, they haven't even had the, you know, the decency to just actually admit that the government fucked over black people for so long. Like, if they could even at least start there and say, you know what, we fucked up, we gonna try to figure this out. I don't think all you motherfuckers gonna get a check, but we gonna try to figure something out. At least own up to it. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of my thing on it and shit. But if you, Bo, I just want to ask you before we move on to Dubb. If you were to get individual reparations, I know you mentioned about, you know, land and possibly gold. Like, what ultimately, what would you want as reparations?
So individually, yeah, like I want some type of land. I don't care really where it's at. You know what I mean? Gold, obviously, but that ain't gonna happen. You know, I mean, I want something other than, hey, we the government, you printing out this money, we giving it to you. You know what I mean? Because it's our money ain't backed by nothing but like the will of the United States. Really, it's not. You know, there's no gold standard. You know, I can't take $20 to the bank and get $20 worth of gold no more. That ended a long time ago. You know what I mean? If I would took $20 to the bank, like, hey, let me get $20 worth of gold, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, this nigga tripping. Boy.
Gold,
you know,
right?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, on the individual level, man, yeah, I'm gonna want some type of land, some type of you know, just something for me to stabilize my, you know, even if it was like, hey, you ain't got to pay, your family ain't got to pay taxes for the next, you know, 15 years or whatever, you know, something like that, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see. So Dubb, what you say, man? I know you got something to say about this, man. You want a whole bunch of Tupac CDs?
I got all mine. Don't worry about that. I got digital and already got the hard copies. I don't need none of that. I'm good on that.
You don't need that?
Nah, I got all that, baby, and I know all of it. But my take on it, I feel like I wouldn't want to be on an individual basis like that with monetary, at least not with money, because like you said, keep real, most of them below it. And then, like I said, it'd be devalued. The value of it would be in the toilet. You know what I mean? What's what happened with that money and it ain't worth shit. You know what I mean? So I would say, like both said, get some land. Let's get some like the idea of the free tax for a while. That help get a leg up, help try to balance things out. You know, personally, I said the education when people be great. You know, whatever college you get accepted to, you cover, you're free. You know. Right, and then the community-based stuff where building up the people, you know, because really we so screwed over. Like we need help in the community, you know, as far as with job training. We need help with the mental health issues. We need help with substance abuse. So we can try to level this playing field up, because the playing field is it's 400 years out of whack. You know, we all know that if your foundation is not level, the further you go up, the more it's gonna lean. Like that's all gonna happen. Is you're gonna fit into one way or another. So that's the only thing I would is make things. We can make it whole, but at least try to make it the field now level. It's the only way to really truly make it close to being whole, which never happened. Because like I said, we were stole from. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like you just mentioned about the job training and stuff. All of that stuff is essential, and just like we mentioned again, like last week, I think it was with the gentrification piece, is all those things are instrumental, because without those, new jobs don't mean shit. Just like I was watching news today, and you know Dan Gilbert and Dead Rock Company, you know, they working on some other shit. Now they got like this 58-story some kind of tower that they're trying to put where the Hudson building used to be downtown. It's supposed to create like over 8,000 jobs by 2022, I believe it is, and that's good, right? But you make it getting 8,000 jobs in a place where 8,000 motherfuckers don't even have the ability to work those jobs. So like you got a job in my backyard that I can't even work because I ain't never been educated. So like, what's the point?
And then who's doing the hiring? Who's doing selection process? You know, it's like so it will be the same on people who get the jobs, who benefit from all of that, and the people who are on the bottom who've been suffering the most gonna lose out, and it'll be the same place who's at because again, like these people, like say my man Donald, for example, like they don't tell you a great businessman. He's so excellent. Get the fuck out of here. He got $1 million loan from his dad even when he got out of college. That's not putting yourself, that's not, give me $1 million to invest. What I'll do with that shit. Now, the billionaire, I guarantee my kids don't have to work ever again in their life. I guarantee that shit.
Right, exactly.
So I doubt it. You gonna buy all Tupac's mastered copies of his song.
Hey. That's your time of the business. You know what I mean? I'm gonna triple that money first, then I'll buy all that shit, all right?
All right.
Yeah. then I get it. But that's the thing, though. If we get us for something like where they even where all right, we'll get you loans for business loans with zero interest on it. You know what I mean? Something just pay it back, but no interest on it. Something that we can build something for ourselves and for our family, our communities. That way, we have like this. Like I said, we in our communities. Who owns everything in our communities? Not us.
Not us, right? Not us.
Not us. Our money gets spent everywhere else but with us.
Could you imagine?
And then not just
0% interest rate on a business loan, bro?
But you got to pay it back. You got penalties to pay.
Yeah, for sure.
To piggyback on what you just said, Chris, like I didn't know this until a couple of years ago, and I didn't know that we were doing that here in Detroit too with Quicken Loans or whatever. Like, dog, most businesses do a study in the areas that they want to, pop up businesses in. They check on the test scores and the graduation rates in those areas. And then that's how they factor in if they want to put a business there, because it means that they have to spend more money in training. If they don't have to spend that much money in training, it's more lucrative to put a business there. Like you said, if you put that 8,000 job business here and downtown Detroit is becoming gentrified, like you said, we're not getting those 8,000 jobs. Who's getting those 8,000 jobs? It's gentrified. Right. You basically forced us out on a small scale, but we didn't know about it because we're not taking advantage of money given back into the community to build better community centers, mental health, better education. Like, damn, I just to see when Dubb brought it up and you made that point, it made me just think of that, like, wow, you really are stacking the deck against us.
Exactly.
Man.
You know what I would want to require if I was in some position of power. What I would want to require is for a business, when it moves into whatever vicinity, whatever schools are in the surrounding area, I would need them to form some type of pipeline. So let's say you got Quicken Loans, right? So let's say that at King or Cass or whatever's down in that area, let's say that instead of like elective courses, how about have some courses on teaching some of these high schoolers how to be loan processors before they leave. So when they get out of high school, they can either go to college or maybe get a job across the street at Quicken Loans. Like make it a pipeline for the schools. Since you're going into the school's neighborhood, make it accessible to the people who actually there to get some sort of education to make them even remotely close to being able to get something.
But didn't they get rid of that? Like they got rid of vocal, like you said.
Okay, yeah, they got rid of that.
I used to coach
here too.
Like I didn't know they got rid of skilled trade in a lot of schools. I was like, I remember those dudes going to vocal.
Nobody care about Grand Rapids, Dubb. Nobody care about Grand Rapids, man. I don't want to hear about that, bro.
I would agree. I give you a solid agreement.
Put them here.
And like you said, it was one school that was in the Warren district when I used to coach high school football. Like GM we had a feeder program, a skills trade program, and a nursing program in the school. I forget what hospital that was affiliated with their nursing program, but the kids will go there. Like I said, when they allowed to roll in by their senior year, but mostly by their junior, so it was a 2-year program. But they would get that training so they can, like, hey, if I don't want to go to college, I'm a machinist with GM certification. I can go to GM.
Exactly, and that's all I'm saying.
Hey, one of the things it comes down to, though, is like the very fundamental principle of like capitalism, and like one of the first things they teach you, in business school or not even business school, but like undergrad, as you major in business and whatnot, like the corporations is all about building shareholder wealth, right? So again. And if you can't make that stuff make sense to the shareholders, who are typically not us, then it's not really going to happen. There's got to be a whole paradigm shift of what, of who we're trying to I guess make whole, or who we're trying to share these profits with and things like that. Like I think we all have issues with capitalism. It has its good parts, it has its bad parts. I get it, like everything else, right? And to go back to the point that Dubb was saying, that we like the only people that don't really own what's in our neighborhoods. Again, so that's kind of on us too, right? Because we don't want to go down the street to Leroy and Melvin's, whatever supply, because we can go to Walmart and get that shit $20 cheaper. You know what I mean? Straight up, like knowing that we don't have mom and pop shops like that, they don't have the power to compete with Walmart on a strictly pricing basis, competitive basis like that. But part of that, I'm for real. Part of that lies with us too, man, because we quick to go to Target or go to Walmart or. Go to a certain online retailer that we all know about. You know what I'm saying?
I would to piggyback off that, Carl. To even keep it realer than that, dog. Like when you see those mom and shop pops being constructed, we tearing it up and we stealing the supplies.
Man.
Like you see a little mart open up next to the gas station, next to Habib's gas station. And hopefully you won't hear this on the podcast and feel this racist, but Mohammed's or Habib's gas station, when that little mini mart gets popped up over there, you look up 2 weeks, it's fully bricked up, glasses in. Next you look up that second week. Like I said, black people, like I said, people don't want to give us our kudos, but we some resourceful motherfuckers for people to steal the tin or the copper out of the pipes. Like, nigga, you gonna pull all that copper out? Hell yeah, nigga. You get like 10 pounds, you get $1 per pound, nigga. Like, I'm not spending half my day pulling tin out of a pipe. But that's the downfall of that shit, bro. We got to put
to electrocute themselves.
Hey, when it comes to the mom and pop shopping there, and the thing is, like, our issue is that it costs more, and then we have less money to spend there. So what I'm supposed to do? If I've been worried about either I'm going to feed my kids, buy shoes and clothes, or support this black business over here, what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend with the national chain the cheapest I can afford it. That's why I do some job training to people more money. They can work here with higher wages, and so they can have these stores in the community we spend money at. Because on some real shit, like around Grand Rapids, all the stores around here, the parts and liquor stores, inside clothing stores inside the city, down national chains are owned by the same family. They get here, get these loans, come probably another country, get these non-interest loans they get, bought one store, two stores, 3 stores. Now we got all the damn stores in the city by the same family. We had one last store along from my mom's house, Brook store, just bought it by the same family. That store has been there before I was born. Mostly run it. Now it's who run it. The same family running it now. It's like they taking over. So we ain't got we don't have no income to purchase this stuff. We don't have the skill to be running it. I mean, and then we have our people, like you said, coming in, stealing out of the store, snatching the meat off the counters. They stealing the supplies out of that mug and just selling on the streets because they're struggling. I mean, and so we need to do better as a people, but we need more training to do that, more job training, more education, and reparations through education, community rebuilding and stuff like that. That'll help do it. Keep the dollars in our community.
I think that's the ball rolling.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely started the ball rolling.
Yeah,
when it comes down to one of the things I think it comes down to is there is no good short-term answer, right? All the answers that we need are long-term, and people really don't have the patience for long-term stuff. Because, like I said, they're worried about now. How am I going to eat tomorrow? How am I going to eat this afternoon? How am I going to eat this evening? So, I mean, I think, like I said, until we get that paradigm shift to get us focused on more, long-term, like we was talking, like you were saying on the show, bro, it's not so much about, making it. It's about building wealth. Why is it long term? That old money type stuff, right?
The old money.
And that's a hard thing to do when you're worried about right now. It is a hard thing to do when you're worried about how I'm gonna get this next bill paid. It is tough, but it's a sacrifice that we got to make, though. I believe.
Who will make it?
I think we got to make.
A real question is who will sacrifice taking care of their kids and their wife and wherever else they're taking care of to make sure the next generation, somebody else treat good. My kids are going to eat, but
I think our generation and I think from 30 to about our generation to about 40 we're learning how to do it because we've sought that secondary education, and a lot of us are coming back and giving to the community. I think, but it's just the fact that we're losing to a point because of this microwavable status that is in. Like our parents were taught to, get a good paying job and put your head down and work all day. We're not taught that. Like, hey, I got vacation, I'm taking time off. But now our kids in the second generation, they're not thinking of longevity. Like we're trying to show them, hey, let me show you how to plant the crops and tend to the field. Now I don't want to do that shit. I just want to eat. Well, you can't microwave. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can't microwave seed, motherfucker. You got to plant it. And I think that's our hang-up, because like you said, who wants to wait? I think our generation is fighting that push. We're winning, but it's just the fact that it's a marathon, and right now everybody want to sprint, but it's a marathon. I think we're winning because you see more kids seeking higher education. You see more kids saying, you know what, I don't want to go to college. I want to get a skilled trades job and learn how to give back. And a lot of them are doing that more now than saying, we're telling kids, hey man, don't go to college without a plan so you go into debt. I'm not sending you somewhere to get into debt, son. I'm already in debt. So let me show you how not to do that. And because you see our programs, our education is coming up slowly, not in the advances of our counterparts, but it's getting there. But it's just the fact that our generation is getting tired because we also get pushed back from this younger generation, like, well, we don't want to wait. Right? But dog, we're trying to build this up for everybody. Well, I don't want to be everybody. I want mine. And I think that's the fight we fighting right now.
Exactly. No, I hear you on that. You was about to say something, Bo?
No, it's good. I'm with it.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, so you was about to say something. But yeah, no, and all those things are true. I think what happens is two sides to every coin, though. I think a lot of people do see the glitz and the flash of like, let's say an entertainer or a athlete. But then I think us as an older generation, our issue is we need to allow them to glamorize whatever it is that they glamorize. If you like rappers and you like entertainers, that's fine, but let's show them on the back end what's going on. So like for us, for instance, like, I use Nas only because that's the only one I can think of right now. Obviously, Nas is a rapper and he made money as a rapper, but Nas making money on the back end on investments and tech stocks and shit like that. Like you gotta allow them to see what's going on. What do you say?
Drake, he's like fifth richest people artist because he's off real estate, investments and stuff. Right. You got to do that.
Yeah, so you got to build. Yeah, so you got to remind them. Yeah, you got to remind them of what they're doing on the back end for that longevity. Because again, like HQ said, they looking at the right now, like, oh, you got it going on right now, but you just got to allow them to, use that. You like that glitz and glamour right now, that's fine, but look at the back end and see how you going to make it last, though. Because, in real life, I don't want to, like most of these niggas now and most of the niggas that I grew up listening to, I don't want to hear their ass no more. You know what I'm saying? Music phases out eventually. So it's all about, what you're doing on the back end, on investments. And even something that I seen not too long ago, I think it was last week or the week before, I seen T Grizzly on the Breakfast Club, and he was saying how he wanted to invest more in construction so he could build up some of his neighborhood and stuff. And I was like, see, a lot of young people don't even think along those lines because they're too busy trying to get the like Bo said, the right now. But you got to really start considering options like that. So instead of being a construction worker, own a construction company and start building up the neighborhoods where you're from. Because eventually we gonna have to stop crying about what they building up downtown and not helping in the neighborhood and just start building it ourselves. Helping each other out. And the thing is that with a lot of other cultures, they I feel like black families, they keep their kids out 18, get out of the house. You're grown up, you don't know, get out. Like they put those other kids out to the wolves. They ain't ready to do anything at all. You got to make sure your kid is straight before you take it out. Now your son's struggling, doing all kind of crazy stuff. He at 18, 19 years old, because he ain't ready for the world.
You know, he's like, it's like I don't know. Also, I'm guys work with a white guy, mom and dad from the richest all can be, right? And he's off finding himself all through his early 20s and working this job and that job. They take him to make sure he's straight. He's building his resume, doing different things while he's building himself up, foundation up. He's making texts and doing other things and making their moves for himself, but they make sure he's straight. So he can do what he want to do later on in life. You know, now he's like 32 years old. He's making a whole bunch of money. He got a big resume going, and mom and dad make sure he had no debt, no student loans, none of that stuff at all. Mom and dad make sure it was good. Man. And
I wonder what that's like.
That's love. Like, I mean, and so like he at 23 he had a car. He at 20 years old he had a freaking $200,000 condo. His parents was paying for him. Like, just paying for him to live there while he was doing his thing. Working nonprofits, doing what he loved to do.
We talk a lot about, like, the younger generation and stuff, too, right? And I'm going to go ahead and be an advocate for them. You know, it's not just the younger generation. You know, we say that because we don't identify with everything they're doing, but it's a lot of us old motherfuckers doing some dumb shit, too. You know what I mean? A lot more than we want to admit. No, I'm going to keep it real, man. Like, you know, some of our young people, man, I'm like, damn. You know, like, these cats are so driven and, like, they think out the box, like, in a way we never had before growing up. You know what I mean? So I think society is kind of like bent us about, you know, this millennial and Generation Z and X and all this other stuff about, they're lazy, they do this, they do that. And yeah, some of that is true. Yeah, I got it. But if you look on it, like you said, two sides of every coin. If you look on the other side of that coin, dude, some of these cats are doing some really influential things, man. And not only just to make a buck, but to like really improve the community and whatnot. You know, like the whole tiny house thing, the whole urban farm. That wasn't crazy. That wasn't when we was growing up. Like, young folks brought that shit around, man. You know, so I mean, like, I think there's a point we need to keep them real and keep them focused, but also not stifle like their creativity, imagination, and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see
the keep them focused.
Like the time, some creative, like a pipe they use, pipes they use underground. They make houses out of those too. Like, who thought of this stuff? Right? Yeah, they stack them up and like they have a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen. Like, wow, it's like $5,000, something stupid like that. No, not underground. No. The pipes they done a big cement. How much you do? Nobody see you, huh?
Yeah, that's a bomb shelter.
That's a bomb.
I ain't scared. You can't turn on the ground. You're on underground, America. My reparations.
They stack them up and shit. It was weird. But they like both out of the box. They do different things that we never thought about.
I totally agree with what Carl reinforced. I just think that, like I said, the younger generation, like I said, it's two sides of that coin. Yeah, we got some old heads that do dumb shit. Like some of those older heads we know that went away to college before us, and really they come back and they just was old legends in the hood and they stayed that way. But I think you just see more. You see more of it now. We're coming back, and I think that's building the foundation. And I think the smarter, like I said, the other side of that coin is what Carl emphasized. They really are attacking and finding out ways how to be productive within their community. Like, I just think that, like I said, honestly, I didn't know too many people went to college. Nobody, all my cousins, I got probably 12 cousins. Not one of them, I think 6 of them went to college. Not one of them came home and talked about college. Not one of them. They didn't talk about the girls, what they did. I had 3 cousins graduate from Michigan State. Never knew they graduated. You graduated from Michigan State? Yeah, you didn't know that? Nope. Grandma didn't talk about it. Like, y'all just come home and say nothing. So it's like, that's what my point is. I think that 96, 97, 98, 99, we're starting to come home. We see that, I can go get this great paying job somewhere else, but I can also go build up my community and take out these small business loans. And even though they might not be getting them as fast as we would like, but I think that's what we're seeing. Like, some of these millennials are making great changes, but I just think that it just comes back to us. Because, like I said, in your own pioneering spirit, Carl, to see you working with different colleges and different minority groups throughout your tenure of me knowing you, I think that kind of reinforces what I'm saying. Like, dog, we're literally taking it upon ourselves to come back. Like, I mean, let me tell you about the college life. It ain't what you think. It's fun, but let me give you the other side of the coin on the other fun side. Let me let you know that you got to handle business while you're there. I think that our generation, that 90s, I would say my brother's generation was 95. I don't remember too many 95s coming back and kicking. 96s did because they just wanted to tell you all about the girls. 97 we did. 98 we came back. I just think that we slowly started doing it, and now the fruits of our labor is paying off because you see more people going back to the communities and giving back and building up. But it's just the fact that, like I said, it's a marathon because it's happening in spurts, small urban areas, urban farming. Like Q, you know this. One of the dudes we graduated. Remember Theo? I didn't know he ran his own business while we was at King. Like, he ran all the vending machines at King. He one of those dudes here in Detroit. He ran most of those vending machines in King. He one of the dudes, black dudes here in Detroit that's trying to build the first black-owned grocery store here in Detroit, Michigan. Like, I think they still trying to raise equity. I think they trying to get like $25,000. This was a year ago when I read the story online. Like, they literally interviewed him on Channel 4. I mean, like I said, I reached out to him. I mean, I'm gonna hit him up, and he showed me no page where I could go fund me and send him some money. But I hit him up through LinkedIn. Like, dog, I saw what you're doing. You know, let me know. Like, I would love to give. Like, that's something that's real. You're doing something in the community.
Hell yeah.
You literally, I think we're starting to learn how to give back. Go ahead.
Check this out too. So you talk about organizations in the community and things like that. So I want to give my man a little love too. Who's doing big things in Detroit right now? My man's name is Phil Black. He runs this.
I know. I know Phil.
Yeah, Phil cool. He cooler than a fanboy. But he runs this organization called the Manhood Project, and focuses on these, young African American males at that very, very, very critical age. It's like, hey man, I'm at the point right now where I can be a D-boy or I can be a fucking doctor. You know what I mean? And it's like, he is that force that's putting resources in front of them and saying, hey man, this is why you playing for the long term, not right now. You know what I mean? So things like that, I think, is how we get wealth back in our community, man. Just, reinvesting in these young folks. Like I said, appreciate them for, what they do. They wouldn't do the glitz and the glam. That's cool. Because I don't think nobody had more fun in college than I did. You know what I mean? I had a ball. DCS, baby. I had a ball in college. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man. It's cats like that's doing so many good things for the city. And cats like that, we need spotlight, man.
For sure. No, and too, just like that you spotlighting too, like his whole program, and just like you mentioned before about how you had went back to King and talked to some of those students, and they were so amazed that that you had some white people who answered to you. I think that just plays into that same kind of thing. Is just giving them a different perspective on life, because a lot of these kids, man, they really don't have no other perspective outside their little 6 or 8 or 10 block radius. Like, they really don't have no other perspective on life. And I think that perspective, even without the resources, I think the perspective gets you moving in the right direction. And those things can be spurred with some type of effort as far as reparations to make those plans go into action. I gotta switch it up a little bit at the end. I gotta ask y'all this, but I've been waiting to ask this all night. So this is what I was thinking of, right? So we having all these discussions about reparations, what could be a good idea for reparations or how it could work, those kind of things. So I want to ask you this, man. I'm gonna start with HQ first. But if we were to get reparations, though, would you be willing to give up the argument of racism in exchange for reparations? HQ, I'm gonna hit you first, bro.
Ooh, that's tough. That's like arguing with your girlfriend, and you said I wasn't even there, but it's pictures of you there. Like, really? Like, I wasn't there. Like, but I was there, but I didn't talk to that girl. But why she like your picture? Like, motherfucker, bitch, I ain't seen that.
Right.
it's like that. Like, I don't think. No, I wouldn't. I would take the reparations, but I wouldn't give up that, because then we're allowing them to wipe away the events the events that built this country. And then next, you're gonna have them saying, the White House, the Lincoln Monument, the railroads, the cotton farms. Like, well, how did what's the famous cotton company? The Haynes. What about Haynes Cotton? It's like, well, we just make cotton. Well, how did y'all get your company started? But I got my reparations, but they don't want to say. My great grandfather owned a slave farm for cotton. So I don't think I would do that, because I would want them to realize. I would want them to acknowledge it, like acknowledge it in both ways. Like, why are you making me choose, but you didn't have to choose? So I just wouldn't. I wouldn't take it that way. I'm like, nah, we can keep it
away. That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? And you pay me for what you give me my reparations for the give me my reparations flat out like that, like. And you just keep that in history books. But I would say the only thing I really would ask is I would tell them, I would make them get rid of different history months. Like, no, just put it all in one big history book and teach it as it is. Quit teaching it separately, because you're allowing the generations to think separately. Like, it all happened here. It all happened on this soil. That's the only thing I would want in addition to my reparations. Like, make the history book shouldn't be 400 pages, it should be 4,000 pages. So get it right.
Right. Put it all of it together. I see. All right, Bo, what you say, man? Would you give up the right to claim racism for your reparations?
Bruh. So this question, I guess I want to look at it a different way, right? I don't want to say, argue racism or claim racism, because that to me kind of looks like, hey, if something bad happens, I can just say, hey, that's racist, or that's racism, that's whatever. I think it's a deep discussion that really depends on the depth and breadth of what reparations could cover for our people. If it was something like, if it's just something that's like a monetary value or something like that, then no, definitely not. But I think it's a good discussion to have, to say, hey, I think it's a good discussion to have if the powers that be are genuinely and passionately looking to get over that hump of racism and the effects of slavery and years upon years and decades upon decades of legislation that has gone to hurt the black community, right? Now, if steps like that were made to kind of like make us whole, then I think we're headed in the right direction, but I don't think we can not ever, forget, the effects that racism has had,
Exactly.
I just think that, I just don't think that enough can be done right now anyway to make us all forget that, you know what I mean? When we got our cousins, our brothers and uncles and nieces and nephews and whatever in jail or addicted to drugs or undereducated or underemployed or whatever, I mean, it's just, I don't, like the article I sent y'all today, nonprofits being forced out of the city and things like that, so I don't see myself, I don't see anybody else really, any other self-respecting black person trying to get past that fact that racism happened. Yes, I mean we need to keep that in history. Yes, that did happen, and this is what resulted from it. They met us halfway, or we succeeded in spite of, and I don't think we can ever forget that.
For sure. I see. Dubb, what'd you say?
Except for Kanye. Kanye forgot about it.
Hey. I'm
not going to defend Kanye, but I'm going to say this. In 2018, It's not truthful stories. It's not stories backed by facts that go around. It's narratives that go around, right? Everybody tries to spread their certain narrative, and when I say that is only a small section of that video was played. And now, even though I think he should realize the impact of what he says, or realize the impact of what he says has on people, I should say, I personally don't think he meant it like, hey, slavery was a choice. I think he meant it by like, hey, some of them motherfuckers was like, man, we ain't having this shit, bro. And then some of them cats was like, all right, come master.
Right. No, I definitely agree. He know better. He know that he needs to translate it. He knows 10 minutes before he say something.
Kanye he said it himself. He said, I don't read much, and I say what I think. And that's all. That's what it is. He's the person who don't. He actually don't. He's not. Don't read.
He don't watch the news, nothing. Right.
So Kanye, you can't.
I'm a math major. I don't really, but at least I went through all the schools. They made sure I learned that in school, like in grade school up until high school. Like now when I got to college, like yeah, what happened during the 8th? You don't want to talk. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. We don't talk. But
that's always cute.
and mom being an African American history studies professor, like you kind of shooting yourself in the foot. But that's just me. Like I said, it's almost like in the support of what Carl's saying, like, the film Birth of a Nation just reinforces it. It was some that actually did stand up and got tired of that choice of being, monetary slaves. Like, but then history doesn't want to show us being the victor. Like, they don't want to show us being excellent. Like I said, it's just what I learned from that cartoon. History is written by the victor. The same reason why Nat Turner is a villain. Same reason why Huey P. Newton is a villain. Black Panthers are a terrorist group, but KKK still around. Like the story's been written by them, so they won't ever change the narrative. Now, when we question the narrative, it's up to us to hopefully ask that question to our peers who ask that question. Like, well, what are you trying to say? Well, let me say this for you. I think he just never had a chance to say it. Like I said, they only showed that 3-minute section of the video, but I wish he had a chance to really go into detail about it and seeing better.
They wouldn't allow that to happen, wouldn't?
Oh no, that makes too much sense. That just makes sense.
Bro, I'm gonna say Riley Freeman is my hero.
I love Riley. Yes,
Riley Freeman, that's my dog. That's my hero right there.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna jump back in. So what'd you say though, man? Would you relinquish your right to call racism what it is for your reparations?
Here's the thing. I would definitely would. I would, but we need to meet this guy. We want California, Florida, New York, and Arizona, and one state in the heartland for farming, right? And we need free education for everybody who we go to, and we need 0% interest loans. Then we say racism, the term we wipe from the book. If you don't do that, no, we won't, because it is what it is. The whole country is set, but the country started out with racism. You know what I mean? The first they got here, we're superior to the savages we're here. Superior to the savages that are here.
This nigga Chris said, I want the whole Western United States, bro.
I know. I don't even know how to support that. I'm just saying. I'm gonna let him argue that.
That's where all the agriculture is.
I'm just saying. If we can't get all of that, then no, we can't do that. No, we won't wipe it away. No, if we can't get all of that, then no.
I think Chris was Walking Dead. He like the Walking Dead dudes. Like, no, we own this land, that, and this land. Well, we got to grow crops. Well, you can't grow them here. We own it.
I'm just saying. It's not short of that. We short of that. They told me
we about to starve half the U.S. Like, y'all don't get no food. Y'all get no grapes. No grapes.
No grapes. I am vegan.
Hey, really, man. I feel you.
The country was founded on racism. Bottom line, Canada country. They were living here. mind their own business, and you come here telling them you superior to them, you do things that way, killing them off, all that stuff, and then every other 9 that didn't fit your standard, you vilify them, you demean them, and until you able to bring them to your fold. Like even with Irish came, they dogged them like crazy. You know what I mean? So they were right. So come on now. They also they enough from here. They enough influence. We bring them into our fold. You know what I'm saying? Like even now, they trying to make Mexicans white. They try to make them claim mark down white on legal documentation. You know what I'm saying? Like so. They
more employment documents.
Yeah. So it's all our racism here.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, exactly. 2 Latino questions.
So you give us 6 states and 0 inches long and free education. You can erase them out the dictionary book all together. Erase it. Otherwise, I'm be calling a spade.
Hey, he only saying I got to do this today. Gonna happen.
We got.
I'm just exactly.
I feel you, Dubb. Like, it would take something of that magnitude for us to erase it. I get your point, bro. I get you.
Yeah, I get your point.
Yeah.
I agree with it. It's just like I said, I just want that nigga to be telling niggas, no, you don't get no grapes, nigga.
I am Negan.
We get ready to wrap it up, though. I'm gonna go around the table one last time, man. Y'all give y'all final words on today's topic, man, and let the people know, what we leaving out on. Sivo, I'm gonna hit you first. I'm gonna let you go and say what your final words is this week.
Bro, happy birthday to my man Malcolm. I would say his Muslim name, but I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. You know what I mean? But hey, by the ballot or by the bullet, baby. It's at some point. I think we just need to ask ourselves, when is enough? And just like, I'm not saying going out there and we spraying everybody. I'm saying when we gonna really unite and take some action. And I think when we really decide as people, then I think that's when we'll see the tide turn.
For sure. That's what's up. Dubb, your final words?
The final word, reparations would be a great thing to have in theory. In practice, I don't see how it would work. Like I said, unless it's an overall community-based thing where they building us up to try to make the playing field level. Starting at the bottom, from education from elementary schools on up, and then college. Because really, you have 400 head start on us. 400 head start. We try to catch up. Right. We only been desegregated with equal opportunities for 60-some years. And even then, it's not equal. It ain't the same. It's not even close to being on par. Like cities like Grand Rapids, it's hyper segregated. Like we cross like from my parents' house and you go 2 minutes down the street, it changes so drastically. You know what I'm saying? And my parents, they make decent money. You know what I mean? My mom retired from the IRS. You know what I'm saying?
You might work for the
she retired from the IRS. Yeah.
I didn't know she was
Yeah. Years, 34 years.
Yeah. Grand Rapids this weekend. I'm coming to Grand Rapids this weekend.
Yeah, right.
Come on down. You're more than welcome.
I've talked to
about
I don't know, man. HQ, what's up, dog? What you got to say on the way out tonight?
I think this was a strong conversation that actually got a lot of great points out about reparations. Like, obviously, we would love to see it on a singular game, but I think the better heads prevail when we all. That shows you that, like Bo said, the tide would turn. I think this conversation it could spark that change in the wave, because you saw more of us doing this conversation talking about gain as a group instead of gain as an individual. And I think these are the type of thoughts that can motion us towards the right direction, help the steps towards the right direction. And I just hope that, our counterparts who listen to this, podcast, take some of this information and process it and do with it what they will, and realize, we're just here to spark conversation and hopefully spark some change. And hopefully the conversation we had, we're showing you that the change we want to make, the reparations that we want to make, want to see, is for the gain of the group and not the gain of the individual. And I hope we learn that our words impact the people who choose to listen to this podcast, this fourth podcast. And they gain some insight that I've gained, thoroughly speaking with yourself, the host, Q, Bo, and Dubb. I think a lot of valid points out here. Like when Bo put that point out about mental health, I think that is a big part of the Black community that is just not talked about. To see someone say, "Hey, let's get that out in the forefront," I think that shows that the conversation is starting to be had, and it's helped. Hopefully, we, like I said, to spark the change, to help it go in that right direction and turn that tide into the right direction. And I just hope whoever listens to this, take heed, take some advice, take some information, and do with it what you will. Just make sure you're taking a step in the right direction.
For sure, though. And excellent point, though, and you are correct in that observation that we have been talking about, what we can do as a collective, and I think that's the important thing. So that's going to kind of supersede what we were saying earlier about how you get individual monetary, I won't call them gifts, I will call them reparations, and possibly people may go astray, spending foolishly. But then I think, like you said, I think there's a lot of people like ourselves in our community that are looking out for the, for the bigger group, because at the end of the day, man, the reality of it is that, we like CMB, dog. You know what I'm saying? We all we got, bro, for real. So we really are going to look out for each other.
Like it was 5 heartbeats. 5 heartbeats. And then love.
Okay, oh, wow, really?
Thanks, you.
On that note, obviously, I think that the reparations come in the form of, community infrastructure, which for us would be, like Bo said, mental illness. Of course, the educational piece to make us even marketable for some of these jobs that they gentrify in our communities with. And of course, what Dubb said too about the 0% interest business loans will be an excellent start as well to start promoting and bringing up our own businesses. But on that note, dog, I think, again, we had a very wonderful conversation. I want to thank everybody who checked us out. Make sure that when you do listen to the SoundCloud podcast that you click the alert so that you get alerted every time we drop a new episode, which is every Friday. All right? But until the next time, man, I got my man HQ in the building. Got my man Dubb in the building. Got my man Bo in the building. And shout out to the homies who couldn't make it, Big Win and Lawson, man. They here in spirit, you know what I'm saying? And, of course, it's your boy, Q Lewis, holding it down, man, for another episode of Notes from the NEGRO section. Peace out, y'all.